Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news, baby dolls. The bull market is really starting to fire up. I've got so much cracker news here for you today. Are we really pricing in a US Fed rate cut in September? Is Grok really just a puppet from the state of Israel? Did MicroStrategy buy more Bitcoin? What's going on with ChainLink? What's going on with Ethereum? What's even going on with Lord Vitalik? All of that coming on to your way, and more. BTC is hanging around 118 or 119,000 American dollars. It is on the fifth green candle. No one knows how many green candles we're going to have on this one. I kind of wish we would reset here, but it is what it is, right? It's all completely outside of our control. We are definitely moving along the bull market now. And Ethereum is starting to crank on through, showing you that we are really progressing, right? Ethereum is around 4,200 here. Hopefully it pushes on to 5,000 soon. Remember, we're just on the second green monthly candle for meth. We've got to do a couple in a row to show you that it's really starting to get euphoric here. What I really like, friends, is, you know, in June, all the way back in June, we did a red candle. This is definitive. This one was very, this is controversial. So this is why this is so poopy, right? Some exchanges were green. Some exchanges were red because it was just so close to being a flatline candle in a row. This one is definitively red, which means we pretty much reset for Ethereum. Now we've done two in a row. Just to remind you, right, in the past cycles, when Ethereum has done 5, 6, or 7 candles, it's pretty much game over. I mean, in the last 2021 cycle, Ethereum did 7 and then actually was printing the 8th candle in a row, going up in May, and then China banned Bitcoin, and it pretty much killed everything. So what's in store for us as we move on? We have BTC, right? This is the weekly chart. I'm going to show you, friends, some quick stuff with blockchain backer, just to show you a bit of a sneak peek of what we're actually like looking at right now. We're still progressing, right? We're still progressing on through. This is the Bitcoin chart. We have these little black arrows just to give you an idea of where we are, right? We have had the thrust up. Do you remember here, friends? This is what we're battling. We battled the retest, right? That's exactly what we did. Remember, we came here, we did battle the retest, come back up, retested here, now we've just shot back up. And that's exactly what we did back then. Now we're going to go through, I'll do another picture here for you, this little skitsy area before we make our way up. And like, he really thinks we're going to get this one. But it's kind of funny, friends. This is the chart from 2017, right? It's kind of funny. It stays in the channel. And it does continue, by the way. It does continue back in 2017. In fact, Bitcoin, as you know, he did not stop in 2017 at 4,600 or 4,000 here. It came back and hit $4,000 here, right? Went up all the way to 20. That's going to be quite an extremely stressful period for the last holders of a cycle model, which is a 4-year cycle. Okay, that's the last one, friends. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play some Pumpy G music to remind you how juicy you really are. And yeah, friends, it's just true, right? That's what I'm here to do. I'm here 18 hours a day. I'm here just to observe for you and let you know, right? Highest value content in crypto. Like and subscribe. There's only one model left. One. It's the 4-year cycle. And if we want to rinse them out, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, but I'm just telling you, if they're all planning to sell in October. So why I think, friends, it's good odds that it actually plays out like that for a blockchain backers thing. Why? It's because if you look at it, if we sell off in here, you got to check it out. Where would that line up? That would line up, friends, that we are crashing around into October, right? So you remember how markets work, yeah? If everyone's planning to make a lot of money in October, if we're crashing into it, right, they don't hold off. They're sell. They're like, oh, crap, it's over anyway. And then all the rest of the 4-year cyclers who want to sell in November and December, that's pretty much the only model that's ever worked. Sell in October, November, December of the post-Bitcoin halving year. So if you sold all your crypto in October, November, December of 2013, 2017, and 2021, that's the 4-year cycle, you win every single time. Okay, so maybe they're all planning to do that right now. I think they all are, friends. Every single person is planning to do that. Remember, I've been telling you, hey, we might have to do that last year, but now the crowd, I guess that's what it is. Everybody's learned it. Everyone is like ready and switched on. So if we're selling off into October, what happens is we bring forward the November and the December holders. Okay, we bring them forward. That's actually how it works. And what I'll do, I'll just show you the chart here. So remember, here is, if we go and look at where we are now. So this is where all these people, they're expecting to sell this little block. But if we're like going down into October here, we go, bang, we're doing this. Yeah, all these people, friends, in all the way from here, those people, what ends up happening is they get brought forward, okay? And they end up selling down there. And it's everybody, it's everyone. It just gets them all out. And then look, everyone's going to be, look, I hope we get that, to be honest. You know, it would be better for you and me if we don't pump too hard in the next 30 to 40 days. It'll be better because I'll be sitting here saying, man, I don't think it's over, bro. We've only had 2 green monthly candles for OTHERS-BTC. No euphoria there. And I'll also be looking at pretty much everything else, right? I'll be looking at the business cycle as well, which I've been like, we've been tracking for a very long time here, showing you. I'm like, oh, well, I just, how's it over, dude? We never even started expanding. How's it over? So see what I told you, friends? With these traps, right? What I've come to learn in markets is if you do the work and research, I know, yeah, it's 18 hours a day, but if you do the work and research, the answer appears to you. And it's not like 50-50 really. It's like there's a lot of standout things. They stick out like a sore thumb, right? If you really know what to look for. But you don't know what to look for. That's the hard part. The hard part is getting what we call, you know, that Zen state, getting in tune with the market. There's something to think about as well, man. It's the 6-month candles of BTC, man. We have been running the very longest time of all. So, man, I have no idea how that's going to work out. Look, you know what would be kind of crazy and wacky? If, like, it'd be nice, friends, if Bitcoin, I don't know how this is going to happen, but, you know, what if Bitcoin finishes this year like, you know, 180, right? And then next year, in the first 2 months, it like goes up to like 240. But by June, it's back. It's starting to crash again. And it finishes the year way under 180 or 150, whatever we're going to finish at this year. That would still give us, actually, we don't need to finish the year, finish June. We got to finish June. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to imagine how we get 6 green monthly candles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then next year, the candle between January and June is red, right? That's something I'm thinking. It would be nice if we like really run up in December of this year and we actually run up into like, we start 2026 at 200K. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. And then we run up to like 240. There's the old season part, but then by June, everything's crashing because maybe it's a sell in May, go away. I'm just trying to imagine how we get some sort of resolution here where we all don't get trucked. Check out the total crypto market cap. It hit 4 trillion, friends. So we are still around this 3 to 4 trillion zone. We hit 4 trillion. Officially, we're just pulling back a tiny bit. The dopamine's being cut off. So what's actually going to hopefully transpire from here is some sort of move to this 5 or 6 trillion, battle it out, and then maybe some euphoria. That'll be some nice burst up to 10 trillion. And maybe you can make a case for much higher and stuff as well. I just really hope that we don't get screwed. If you're in soy, bad news for you again. Soy ETH keeps going down, Vance. I'm just telling you now, man. Did you see how Bitcoin goes up? Soy ETH goes down. Bitcoin goes sideways, soy ETH goes down. Bitcoin goes down, soy ETH goes down. Soy ETH is going down on every single move of BTC. Man, it said truck your bubble, truck your circle. We're going out of here. So, oh man, bang, over 50%, and it's probably gonna keep going, dude. Like it's just, they've learned nothing from it, man. You don't have any friendship in a coin if it's paying you utility revenue and stuff out here. It doesn't work in crypto, man. And you've got thousands of examples out here. Well, not thousands, but you know, a lot. You know, XRP, you got Doge, you got Bitcoin. Things that try to be a stock and do revenue share buyback things, that's not the way to do it, man. What is the way to do it? I don't know. Find a way to get a cult. You want to buy a cult? Find a way to do that, okay? That's what it is. You want to spend the money? Yeah, you gotta do the hard work and research, right? Check this out, friends. This is the pulse to soy ratio. It is almost flipping green and confirming it. Almost. So we need to finish hopefully a pop up above here. We got a long way to go, by the way, for PulseChain. Out here, PulseChain and the core coins not doing much. 2% and 3% still not moving, still boring. We need to hit that, you know, that real, I guess, where that point of inflection is for the rest of the alts to go. It's going to be a while, but hopefully not that long. Now let's crack on through, back on to see some blockchain backer charts. So we have all the macro things lining up, friends. We have, this is where we are right now. If you're curious, He really thinks, well, the next part is we just go sideways for BTC for it's not that long, maybe a week, maybe 5 to 10 days or something, where we just kind of like battle it out. Hopefully during this time, Ethereum and alts start to like crawl up. Remember, because we're through the point of inflection, we should see stuff like that again. It's kind of funny, man. It's like, man, you know, this is look, altcoins are so cheap, friends. Every single person in crypto has forgotten why altcoins are popular. Everyone, literally 95%, because they haven't gone up. They haven't gone up. Like people have totally forgotten what it's actually like when altcoins go up. Like every 2% move of Bitcoin, altcoins flush up 10. Yeah, it's literally like that. And then Bitcoin goes up 5%, and these things go up 15. And Bitcoin goes up like just $6, and then we pop up even more. Like that's, yeah, man. But it's been a long time. It's been like 4 years of down only. So, yeah, man, this market's taken everything from us. So after these 10 days, we have that up only part. And then I guess we'll see how this thing's going to play out for the rest of us. Remember, all of it's outside of our control. I'm looking for my exotic top signals, right? Maybe we don't see any exotic top signals, man. Maybe we don't see another big ICO raise in the next 2 months. I'm like, nah, I just don't think that was a top, right? But the 4-year cycle, friends, remember the 4-year cycle symmetry, 1,064 days from the bottom, it lands us in October, okay? The beginning of October, which is funny. So that's why hopefully this time is different. Hopefully we are crashing in the beginning of October. And this is why it's big, friends. If you see all those tables where they show you the month-by-month return for Bitcoin, the biggest months of the year are October, November. Okay, so the actual 3 biggest, October, November, and April. Okay, they are the biggest months of the year. And October, yeah, they're all like blitzscreen, massive blitzscreen for Bitcoin. So is this time going to be different? We'll see. Remember, we had a bit of an okay summer this year. Do you know what I mean? Like summers, remember it was meant to be selling May go away. Well, for Bitcoin now, it's still continuing to crank up. So maybe October, November is, maybe it's poop. We'll see. And basically, if you're curious, you go, Sammy, why are you like trying to usher in poopness? And that's because like I don't think there's enough time, man. I just don't, there's not enough time. There's not enough time. Like things have to really keep going up only and not stop, right? If that's going to happen. So maybe we do get the blockchain back as top point and we don't actually crash. Maybe we just keep continuing, you know. Just to let you know, it is possible, friends, where we do reconcile everything working out, 4-year cycle winning and all of us winning, but we've literally got to print 6, maybe even 7 green monthly candles in a row for OTHERS-BTC. The problem is, look at this. This ratio broke 3 of its lows in a row. You know what I mean? It has to like break up here, come back, retest, and then do something like that. That's what I feel like you'd have to do. I don't know if there's enough time just for like just one alt season wave. Remember, in each cycle, there've always been 2 alt season waves. We haven't even had number 1 yet. So we'll see. And the Bitcoin dominance is very far away from being anywhere useful for us. It's still hanging around, still very expensive, but you can tell there's definitely been a shift. And ETH-BTC, which is a driver pretty much of the altcoin dominance and Bitcoin dominance, ETH-BTC hanging up here. Also, friends, some of you really optimistic and hope ETH-BTC breaks the high here. Just to show you, my friends, just like this is, look, man, you don't, when you drop 80% down, like you can't just go break the high in like a few months. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. This is it's never happened before. If it is, it'd be like a 1 in 20 occasion, right? Most of the time, like you see, you have to do this rounding off part. You have to, there's just not enough time here. There really isn't enough time. Or otherwise, if you do a super fast spike up, maybe to here, right? Maybe it even pokes a bit above, it pretty much, we're going to come back down in the bear market. So depends what we're going to get. Are we going to get the fast spike up, come back down, or we're going to do a nice rounded bottom? Look, if we do a nice rounded bottom, look how long this took, man. This took a while, right? So if we just do that, look at that. That's moving up throughout 2026, 2027. So yeah, we'll see. But if we follow XRP's ratio behavior of what it did in this 3rd cycle, it didn't come back in anywhere near break the high. All it could do was recover to where it was in the Bitcoin halving year, which would be about 0.055 for Ethereum. And hopefully maybe it pokes up above, but it can't close a month above it. That's what actually happened in XRP. And what I'll do is I'll actually show you that chart here. So this is XRP-BTC ratio, just so you can get an idea. Look what I did, friends. See this? See this? There was this big wick. Look at this. This was in May 2020, the actual top. So at one point, it was like above its Bitcoin halving year. See, this is the Bitcoin. This is the where it started, the Bitcoin halving year. Ticky. This one like comes back above, like, oh wow. But then that's it. It was pretty much over. It was the very end. It pretty much just let everybody out for break even. But Who wants to just get out for break even? Like they missed. That's why XRP guys, they deserve it, man. They deserve it. Because they have no alt season in 2021. Now let's crack on with some news, friends. So Grok, Elon Musk's Twitter AI, there's been some stuff that's gone viral. So it is confirmed to be an ice cream puppet, if you know what I mean. You see this flag, friends? Ice cream, right? So it's confirmed to be an ice cream puppet and confirmed to be controlled by the ADL, which is an ice cream puppet institution as well. So many posts have gone viral on it. So what's actually happened? So what happens is people were showing Grok just like a picture of a white baby, just white skin, light skin. Hey, even someone like me, right? So just white skin baby. And they were asking Grok, hey, how is this a right-wing dog whistle? Like, or how is this like racist and stuff out here, right? And guess what? Grok was giving responses, and it was saying stuff like this. It goes, by the way, what's a right-wing dog whistle? That's ice cream terminology where they make it. They're like, oh, that's a dog whistle, as in that's what they use that to imply basically. Firstly, everyone else is a dog, but secondly, as in like that's your calling to come and like basically, you know, grape and attack and violently abuse someone. That's what it is, right? It's imagining like a bunch of gangsters in an alleyway, like, hey, here's the whistle, like we're gonna go target someone, right? That's the language they use. That's what they say. So how is this a right-wing dog whistle? Grok would respond, and it would say that the baby's white skin is offensive to people out there. Yeah, it says that the baby just a baby, baby's doing nothing, just like just a normal white baby doing nothing. And that's what Grok now says. And there's many other examples. Grok is revealed to hate the white race, as well as calling pretty much everything anti-Semitic. Everything, friends. So it's funny. What people do is they'd show like maybe they'd show like a sharp angle, and they go, Grok, how is this anti-Semitic? And then Grok would be like, oh, it's and then we'll see like Grok says, oh, it's definitely anti-Semitic because that is moving into, you know, ice cream tropes of maybe the shape of the nose or maybe how someone looks or whatever, just like literally everything, right? So it pretty much confirms 100%. Yeah, man, it's kind of weird. Like Elon literally just handed the keys to them, and they literally control everything there. So which must mean they have massive dirt on him, by the way. I think that's very, very obvious. I mean, like, he's got 15 kids, you know what I mean? I think he's got 14 kids, maybe the 15th on the way. You know what I mean? There's dirt on you somewhere out there. So why is this important? Because I have to be on top of this, because if I want to keep communicating to you, I've got to use even more code words. Now I've got to use it on Twitter, because this is just the way everything's going, right? This is the price you pay, friends. We give them the technology. That's why Satoshi made Bitcoin, by the way, because, you know, all the governments and like maybe direction from the non-human intelligence, they're using all technology to pretty much like round us up like cattle. And Satoshi wants to use the technology that they're using, all the technology to round us up like cattle. Yeah, Satoshi wants to use it to liberate mankind. And I just got to remind you that you and I are still friends, right? We're going to make it. Now, US Fed has an 86% chance to cut their rates in September. So traditionally, fans, we all know this, right? When they cut rates, there is bad news happening, because they don't cut rates because they feel like it. They cut rates because basically the economy needs it, as in the economy is slowing down. So usually when they start cutting rates, what happens is there's a sugar rush, right? Usually. But when they cut rates, it's usually when things are already going down. They cut rates and then it can't. Then they have to cut rates more. It's all over. That's usually what happens. Is this time going to be different? Maybe. You never know. Maybe they just cut rates a bit and then let it go, right? Maybe that's all they need, fans. You never know. Maybe they cut rates 3 times by the end of this year, and then we actually have the positive flywheel of the business cycle, right? And then that goes for a while until maybe a year and a half from now, something bad happens. We'll see. Check it out as well, friends. MicroStrategy has bought just 155 BTC. That's right, 155 for $18 million. So normally, you know, they'll buy thousands, but they bought 155 BTC. Maybe it's just like their pocket change, cute money, just to show that they still believe. Their NAV multiple is 1.515 out here. And thank you to my baby doll friend, Mr. J Plush 369, not to be confused with Mr. J Plush 368, not to confuse them too, okay? Mr. J Plush, he has shown me this nice chart. You can actually find the chart of the NAV over time. MicroStrategy at the start, it used to trade at 8 multiple. See this? This is wild, man. It used to trade at an 8. So, wow, man. Now it trades, if you go have a look at it, we'll have just a quick squeeze here. Now it's down here, right? Yeah, man, it traded above high as a 3. That's nuts. So you never know, friends. You know, in the last bear market, it hit around this. It went down towards, actually, as the 2021 year finished. So in the December, it went, the multiple was going down and down and down. So yeah, you never know. Maybe it hovers around here. Maybe it doesn't. It's just one of those things to watch. You know, there's no guarantees to any of these. Yeah, maybe it doesn't repeat GBTC thing, but it's just one of those things to keep an eye on, right? Like, you never know, man. It might happen. It might happen as like just a final, another confirmation for us to let us know that, yeah, the money out of Bitcoin's pretty much run, and now they've run into altcoins and it's gamble time, which means it's euphoria time soon and it's all over soon. Now, friends, Tom Lee has a $4.96 billion Ethereum stash. Largest globally, okay? Now third amongst all crypto treasuries. So Tom Lee, friends, I think they're trying to get to 5% or of Ethereum's stash, maybe 1%. Maybe they're trying to get 1 million ETH. But it is great that everyone is pretty much cracking on through with Ethereum. There's been definitely a narrative shift. And like, it's just funny, friends. Isn't it funny? I told you, like, just a believer cycle. You had no idea that Tom Lee was going to come in and he was going to buy ETH and believe in ETH and then shill it to the rest of Wall Street for us. You had no idea, man. Ethereum dudes didn't even know his name. I've been covering him. No, no one even knew his name, right? So, see, friends, all these things, yeah, if you look at the N-word, the narrative, the dirty N-word, you don't get anywhere, bro. You can't predict it. It's like watching a movie and you're 10 minutes in and you're trying to predict what the name of the last character is going to be, who's going to be the final boss. You have no idea what's going to happen to it. You know, just watch the movie. But you have to sit on through. That's the same thing when it comes to the crypto markets. ChainLink and Intercontinental Exchange have launched a real-time foreign exchange and precious metals data on-chain. So, I think, yeah, just more ChainLink adoption. Yay, what's going on with you? Just the price is dog shit. You know, everyone is a Link Marine. There's only one chart you look at, bro. All right, and it's called the Link-BTC, and it's abomination. Okay, this is it. 5 years ago, it's still down 89, 90%. It actually went down as much as 92%. So ChainLink, to get back to here, okay, I'm only going to go to this wick, even though I should, but let's go to the monthly close. To get back to the highest monthly close, ChainLink's got to rally 7.5x, and Bitcoin moves nowhere. Nowhere. So ChainLink has to be $160, and Bitcoin is still 120K, and now you're back to break even from 5 years ago. All right? And so if Bitcoin does another 50% move, that means ChainLink has to go up to, let's do the number, it has to do 11x higher, which is $236. That's your break even now. You didn't even make any higher high. So it just sucks. But if you do like a, let's do a Fibonacci, friends, from the top to the bottom here. Where would this number take us? Okay, let's just do just a retrace here. From today, it would be ChainLink moving up 6x against Bitcoin, which is still quite a cracker of a movement. 6x against Bitcoin. So you never know. Maybe ChainLink really does hit $160 to $200. We'll see. Donald Trump Media has filed for an amended S1 for the Truth Social Bitcoin ETF, holding Bitcoin directly with Crypto.com as a custodian. So remember, we're watching Donald Trump and his family, World Liberty Finance, just to see, friends, are they gonna like signal that the big good times are over soon? Are they gonna do that, right? Are they gonna be selling it off? Well, they've already sold a bit of World Liberty Finance, right? They've sold 25% of their stash. So they still have the other 75% left. I wonder what they're gonna do in the next few waves. Alt5 Sigma has raised $1.5 billion to launch World Liberty Finance Treasury Strategy, acquiring 7.5% of total supply. So, friends, one of the, just to remind you, one of World Liberty Finance's deals, anybody can do this, is you enter in a deal with them where if you buy $10 million of their coin, they'll buy $10 million of yours. It's just an exchange, so everybody holds it on the balance sheet, okay? Now, I don't know what the whole thing is used for. Maybe we're going to get into hot water later on. Maybe a lot of companies are going to do it and they're going to try borrow on it and they're going to look like assets, but everybody's borrowing everyone else's money and they're all linked to BTC and ETH. And if they drop, then everything else drops. Maybe we'll get to that point. We'll see. But For now, we're still cracking on through. These are all still believers, friends. No one really knows why they're doing this. But at some point, it'll be like the euphoria thing to do. So we'll see. Samson Mow, friends, is a Bitcoin maxi. I just want to show you his picture here. This is Samson Mow. He's a Bitcoin maxi. Hates Ethereum. Hates altcoins. Okay, he believes he's like such a Bitcoin maxi. He's an ambassador for Bitcoin. So he goes around to different countries and he like talks to their presidents and stuff, has the meetings and tells them to adopt the Bitcoin strategy. So he says, he's basically in cope mode. He says, he's basically, because ETH-BTC has started to go up and they only believe it can go down, right? So it started to go up, yeah, but it's still a brown shoe for Ethereum. And what he said is, made this tweet. He said, investors are rotating their Bitcoin to pump Ethereum on new narratives like Ethereum treasury companies. Then they're going to dump Ethereum at the highs and rotate gains back to BTC. Warning, no one wants Ethereum in the long run. So this is, friends, look, for the most part, for most of your coins, you should assume that's true. For literally everybody's doing that. Actually, what happens though is, this is actually, see, conceptually that's meant to happen. What actually happens is a lot of the coins where people dump, they're dumping into Tether anyway, right? Or USDT, and they're bridging out. Okay, so it's not necessarily that, but the crypto market as a whole, all the investors as a whole, that's what Bitcoin's doing over time. It's gathering more dominance over time. Compared to individual coins, not the whole crypto altcoin market, because we're dispersing, because there's just so much dilution of all these altcoins, right? But the thing is, you can't argue with this one chart though. Like you can say, people say this, all these Bitcoin maxis say it. I'm like, but dude, explain this chart then. This is Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is 15-year trend, bro. It's going down. And what are you going to do if this thing just goes down like that? Okay, that's just further confirmation this thing is going down, because altcoins are the infrastructure of Bitcoin. And friends, you've just had one of the worst in history records of the business cycle not ticking up. So pretty much, whether like altcoins have done the worst, pretty much they'll ever do. Okay, in the next couple of cycles, for sure, or at least the next cycle. So don't worry about when it comes up. That definitely, like we just had the worst of the worst right now. It has to be better next one. And yeah, it means that ETH-BTC is going up, and many other BTC ratios are going up. Ethereum developer Fidi's intern reportedly has been detained in Turkey after allegations in assisting in misuse of Ethereum network. The developer denied wrongdoing and said they are open to cooperating with the authorities. So it's very sad that this thing is happening. I see that, friends, as more bullishness on Ethereum, because like you have Turkey, yeah? Shout out to all my Turkey baby dolls. I do love your kebabs, of course. I just look like I love the kebabs. You know what I mean? I didn't have to tell you that. You just knew that, okay? So when we're looking at the rest of the world prosecuting and persecuting, it's like early Christianity. You're getting persecuted for believing in Ethereum, just like you're getting persecuted for believing in it. It reminds me of something like this, where they believe so much. No, they're persecuting me. I don't know what the allegations are, but you got to remember the rest of the world, friends. All the governments, look, man, smart contracts are really powerful, and you can't do them on Bitcoin. Yeah, I know that's an old talking point, but man, you can't do it on Bitcoin. Governments would love that total control. More news from Ethereum as well. An Ethereum ICO participant sold 2,300 ETH worth 10 million. They originally received 20,000 ETH for $6,200. Wow, at Genesis. So their portfolio, friends, they went from 6,200 ETH, $6,200. Wow, and they've been able to just clip out 10 million from that. So they received, a lot. They are 10 deca thousands of ETH at the start. But that's it, man. Like, someone wins the ICO unicorn stuff out here. Wish it was us, That's why PulseChain, see this ICO stuff going up for Ethereum. That's why I guess PulseChain has been an enormous disappointment for everyone, because everyone just expected at least some return in 4 years. It's just straight, it's still down 50%. It's still down 50%. And by the way, when the ICO was done, friends, of PulseChain sacrifice, Bitcoin was 30,000, pretty much. So now Bitcoin's gone up 4x and PulseChain's down 50%, right? So PulseChain needs to go up 8x for here and you'll just break even, okay? So 8x from here, if you go look at it, would put PulseChain at 4x sack price. Okay, and now you'll just break even. You don't even know how to win. You are literally just break even. So up here, this is break even all the way up there. That's actually this is what it looks like on a linear chart. So if you see PulseChain doing this, yeah, you're break even now. You know, even though people are not going to know the difference. They're going to go, oh, wow, we're going up. It's great, we're going up. Yeah, but now you're break even. Literally now you are break even. So what that pretty much means, someone who just kept Bitcoin from more than 4 years ago, which would be at that time, might even be 4.5 years by that point, they're still beating you, right? And they're still beating me. Everybody who put in a single dollar into PulseChain. PulseX sacrifice might be around the same as well. So yeah, we need to do like basically enormous moves just to get to break even. And yeah, it feels like a lot of people, I know what Eric Wall and everyone's going to say, it's just a sleight of hand magic trick. It's like, oh, your coin looks like it's pumping because I or someone out there, random whales come out and just send it down 99%. So it looks like it's amazing when it goes up. So, but you won't know the conclusion until all of it's done. Okay? You won't know until like it's really, really done at the end to see if it was worth it. And that's life, that's risk, that's markets, right? No one ever knows. If we all knew, it'd be a guarantee and it wouldn't be priced like that. Rumble firm is going to acquire an AI firm, Northern Data, in a $1.17 billion all-stock deal with a Tether backing. So if you're holding Tether, you're a cuck, and everybody else who holds Tether, you're pretty much your cucks. Tether is taking your money and then earning yield on it. I wonder if we get a ping pong coin one day that makes up for all of this pain. We'll see. 5 years ago, friends, Michael Chad Saylor started his Bitcoin journey with $250 million purchased into 10K of BTC. So he put 10K Bitcoin price. That was $10,000. He put in 250 million in. Since then, he's bought over 40 billion of it, and he's buying 12x higher in price. So just showing you, man, when people love something, they just keep buying it. At least one Bitcoiner is kidnapped or extorted every single week in the world, warns Satoshi Labs founder, this lady. So yeah, on the rise, friends. So the correlation between the Bitcoin price and the number of physical attacks, it's actually rising up over time, which is it. So you could just have a policy, friends. Anybody that comes within 15 meters within you, you could basically you should have your right to defend yourself, right? And do I even need to show you your weapon of choice right here? Come at me. Yeah, by the way, most of the attacks, yeah, they're happening in like France. And yeah, I'm not gonna shy away. It's true, friends. Just countries with high immigration, there's just a shitload of these attacks. I don't know why. You tell me. There's countries with high immigration when they're coming out, they're importing this third world. They're literally importing trash. They are importing trash. We all know it. They're importing trash. There's people coming in saying, "Oh no, I'm a refugee," and they're not really refugees. You know what I mean? It's just a couple of dudes that end up being gangsters. They join the mafia of the country. They end up dealing drugs, or just end up doing the gypsy thing where they're just pickpocketing people. Ends up just being trash. And friends, you all know, right? You don't need me to tell you. Where does it all come from? Politicians. Who's paying the politicians? Oh, have you noticed who's paying the politicians? Oh, wow. You know what I mean? You know who's paying them. I mean, it's all over. You know who's paying them. Okay, and you know what the goal is? Dilute the white race. They're here to just dilute everybody out here. That's what they're doing. So how's it all going to happen? And in the future, well, what happens usually with these? Something cracks. Okay. We can only all tolerate this because we're booming. All right. Eventually, the economy doesn't boom. It goes back down. People start revolting because now not only have you lost your job, you were getting paid not enough to deal with the next recession, right? And prices of everything is too high because they just immigrated too many third-world immigrants. That's what ends up happening, friends. So yeah, and these people, and guess what? The immigrants they put in, they go, oh, I'll just go back to stealing from people. What I was doing 5 years ago in my trash country. That's what they'll do. They literally go and they start stealing from people. Then you got a big problem, right? So, and then what happens next? The government has to print more money to get the asset prices back up. That's why we're in crypto. An Ethereum ICO Whale has moved 10,000 ETH, worth $42 million today. Sent 2,000 ETH to Kraken, so they're dumping. He got in at 31 cents. Wild. Vitalik, friends, says AI should give humans more control, favoring open weight models and strong editing tools over fully agentic systems. Yes, well, that's all bullshit talk. You know what I mean? Like, friends, you're already seeing Grok, friend. Grok is calling a white baby racist just for having white skin and saying, oh, that's anti-Semitic because of your beautiful white skin. You know what I mean? Yeah, what a fat chance. We're not going to get that world. Losses from centralized exchange hacks could exceed 3.7 billion in the next 5 years, friends. So just to remind you, not your keys, not your coins. Get your money off exchanges. Don't hold them on the exchanges as much as you can. Hold them in your hardware wallet. And please, for the love of God, do not go around uploading your freaking your seed phrase to random emails and Amazon servers and just put them around everywhere. Please don't do that, okay? Because you don't lose it in the next 3 months, friends. What happens is you lose it 3 years later. You know, all the hacks of someone losing like 2 million or 1 million, 400K. I remember I reported one last year. So all of them, someone didn't end up knowing they had an email they haven't logged into for ages, and then it got hacked somehow. And in the email, they saved their seed phrase from like 5 years ago. Right? It's just like when they started their journey, they're like, oh, I'm going to need this seed phrase, email it here just in case. Because back when they started 5 years ago, maybe they had like, you know, $200 in the account. Now they have like 2 million, right? They completely forgot 5 years ago that they sent their seed phrase out, and it's gone there in the rest of the world. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin now takes Bitcoin and other cryptos for space flights. Just to remind you, friends, it's bearish for a currency when you want to spend it, okay? You want to hoard it. You don't want to spend your Bitcoin for coffee. You don't want to spend your Ethereum for coffee, okay? You don't want to buy a car with your Doge tokens. You don't want that. You want to keep it, store value, okay? Once you start spending it, it means you're getting rid of the poop. You don't want that. You want to hoard it. Paxos has applied for a US National Trust Bank license, joining Circle and Ripple. So Paxos, remember, all the stablecoin SuperCycle, the narratives are still appearing every single day. Uniswap Foundation proposes creating a new governance entity after Wyoming's Duna framework. So Union doing all the government's stuff out here, but hopefully they're going to put on the buy and burn fee switch. Safety Shot formed an alliance with Bonk. They received 25 million in Bonk as part of a new treasury strategy. So it really is a treasury strategy SuperCycle, isn't it? You have Bloomberg as well reporting that Dildo Kwon, friends, may plead guilty in US over fraud for the 40 billion Terra USD collapse. So that's the market cap of that. So look, I'm just going to go and say I don't think it did anything particularly wrong, right? It's the thing he's just guilty of is, look, he could have rescued it all. He just should have left UST to go to zero, and then they buy it back and they let the BTC, because they had 40,000 BTC, right? So I calculated if Bitcoin gets to 250K, he makes all the investors whole. Right? So he just had to hold the BTC and not spend it to repeg it. But he panicked and he used all the BTC to try peg it, and then everybody just dumped on him. Even one of you baby dolls, I think Mr. Foolsy said he had 20 grand. It went to pretty much, you know, went all the way down to 5, and then it came back up to 16 grand. And he sold the lower high of the UST peg, and he got out, and then everything pretty much went down 99%. So yeah, he could still be here today. This story could have been a successful story eventually. However, he just shouldn't have panicked the UST, the BTC. So I guess he didn't plan. That's the thing. He did not plan, like, hey, what if the thing tries to depeg and I can't actually do it? They just had no plan. They just had a plan that everybody was going to believe hard enough. But where are we going from here, friends? Well, obviously BTC is cracking on through. We definitely appreciate this uptrend, but the next scene for us perhaps is around this 150, and I guess we'll take it from there. Let's see what happens with those 4-year cyclists. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.